My name is Scott Markus. I am the Senior Content Manager with the International Screenwriters Association. Favorite show or film? That is extraordinarily tough. I mean, things that come to mind immediately, film-wise, Rear Window from Hitchcock or Rope from Hitchcock. I definitely love that kind of classic old school filmmaking style. What's on TV right now? The Bear is the best TV show in recent memory. So intense. So, I mean, you can't watch it and not feel something. It's you have PTSD when the episode is over. It's so well done. I think I have to credit the Larry Sanders Show. As a kid watching that show, I want to do that. I want to have Artie's job of pulling people together, creating a team, and then juggling constantly to make sure that we finally together reach an finish line. That is something that's still exciting to me. And I started filmmaking a video in the most amateur way possible back when I was in high school, and I've continued that on. And as far as writing is concerned, I remember I was a little kid and we did a field trip, and then I think we got back early, so there was filler time, and we were all asked to write about the day. And I had a blast. So I just had so much fun writing about the field trip as a grade schooler that it ended up going in like the school flyer, the newsletter that went out to all the parents. And it was kind of an eye-opening thing that, wow, this thing called writing, which I never really thought too much about, it could be something more than just a homework assignment that you turn in, that it can go to other eyes. Other people can see it. And of course, it made my mom proud. So that helped as well. But yeah, from there, journalism in the high school paper was really where I feel like that was the beginning of my journey, getting into storytelling. My first foray into professional editing, I have to say thank you to Six Flags Great America, and specifically Fright Fest. I was a paid scary person back when I was in high school, and I just so got teamed up with a guy, Tony Farmer, who he went to school with Vince Vaughn, and he was a professional video editor for the past 10 years at that point. And so he kind of took me under his wing and showed me nonlinear video editing once upon a time, back in the days when it was a big edit bay with all the VCRs and monitors, and there was a separate machine to do a title and a separate machine to do an audio fade. But that's where I learned. It wasn't film, it was video. And within a year, I think he and I were making my first movie, obviously super low budget zombie horror movie. But that started me on the journey. I was able to, wave out of my first year of film school because I had so much background before even getting to college. And, the interest evolved from film and television, and then being able to work on set was amazing. I did that for a very long time as a production assistant. I was saving up my DGA days to join the Directors Guild and be an assistant director. And I did that for a very long time. Before realizing that I kind of wanted to set out and start telling my own stories and creating my own things, not just assisting other projects. And that took a number of different forms, from the world of YouTube, which didn't exist at the time, of doing my own things there, to writing a book. So the journey definitely changed a lot over the years, but it was always, I guess, to the core of, the same origin story of building fun things with a team. That's still what really excites me. I hate to say this is a favorite story because it involves someone getting injured, but I was on a show. I won't say which one it was, and our assistant director twisted his ankle or something, had to go to the hospital, and I was our key set PA on this day, and they just had me step up, which was not allowed because I was technically doing a DGA job as a production assistant. But at the end of the year, that was a day that the show's creator singled out as like, this is, we in a time that we may have been in crisis, we had someone step into a place that he'd never worked before, and everything continued to run very smoothly. And I mean, that's a very prideful thing to have gone through that and have the faith of the people on that team think that I was ready to take that next step. So that certainly stands out. So after living in LA for quite a few years, and I felt like the number of production jobs were kind of diminishing. This was at a time where we didn't yet know how to monetize the internet. So there was a lot of people being afraid of, creating. And so there just ended up being fewer and fewer jobs. I ended up working as a Photoshop editor for a print shop for a while. And that was okay, but it wasn't really what I was going for. And then a fella by the name of Timm, who is ISA's director of education now. And he's a guy that I went to college with. He was my first college roommate. We've known each other obviously quite a while. He said within the last year, started working at this company that was great. He thought I would love, and I should meet the founder, Craig James, because there was an opening on the near horizon. So I thought it was going to be a meet and greet, but it ended up being my first day of training, more or less, where I got the rundown of what the ISA is and what my job would be in it. And, when can you start, kind of a thing. And that was super exciting to finally get back to something that was way more in line with what I wanted to do. Also, I was leaving a job that felt like it wasn't that important. The ISA, I'm always so, fully behind, because our goal here is to help writers. And as somebody that loves to write, I feel that's a noble cause. We all have stories to tell, and Hollywood is full of gatekeepers and different hurdles and setbacks. I mean, setbacks are a normal part of a writer's life. So the fact that I'm part of this company now that tries to help with that makes me feel really good. And that's why I've been here longer than I've been at any other job by a wide margin. I don't know if this is exactly a success story, but this is something that I go back to all the time. I was actually just talking to somebody about it. Is the first time I covered a film festival, which I've had the great opportunity to cover dozens at this point through the ISA. The first one was the Nashville International Film Festival. And as I was kind of walking around talking with people, and I was pretty new to the ISA at the time, when I would introduce myself, what do you do? Where do you work? And I would mention the ISA. Literally everybody that I talked to, all of these random people were like, "Oh my God, I'm a member of the ISA. I love the ISA." And so it really showed me right away that we have an imprint on this world. And it's a very positive one too. Nobody said like, "Oh, the ISA." Everybody was super excited to talk to somebody that worked at the ISA. And that was an early indication of what has continued to run true, which is that writers who are actively involved with the ISA, they understand what we do, they understand how we exist to help them, and it has helped them. I think that's what's really exciting, is that we do over these years have so many success stories. And anytime I get to talk to a new fast track fellow, which we have some new ones just recently, I'll mention that the first people I ever met, I think I met some fast track fellows before I met some of my other coworkers. Once writers get elevated to that point and become a big part of our family, that they remain friends and family, that we continue to work together, we continue to cheer them on and take an active role in their writing careers. And that's something that's really, really cool and fun for me to see too. So my main job at this point right now is, if you're a fan of videos that we put out, I am involved with everything that appears on our YouTube channel, everything that appears on our pro tips and tricks, and our podcasts as well. So it's a lot of fun, and it allows me to be creative, whether it's in the edit bay or to come up with ideas that we think you viewers would like. So I guess I'll just take this opportunity to not so much talk about what I do, but just to say, if you have things that you want to see that we aren't putting out yet, let us know, whether it's live event topics or videos that you would like to watch, podcasts on topics that you'd like to hear that we haven't dived deep enough into. Let me know, comment here, and we might be able to address that. The best advice is something that it goes back to when I was an intern in college. There was a development executive. I worked at a mini studio, a mini major, and he said, get the job first and then figure out how to do it. And I think there's also some positivity and some humility, because I was once offered to be a gaffer, and I said, I don't want to electrocute myself, so I'm going to say no. I'm not going to figure out that one on the job. But otherwise, for the most part, yeah, jump in with both feet, because there will be a community of people, whether it's online, whether it's us. You can ask questions too. And, you of course don't want to misrepresent yourself when taking a job, but don't let the fact that you haven't done something yet be what stops you from thinking that you can do it. That was something that was said to me like about 20 years ago. And it's still like, it feels like I heard it yesterday, because it's so relevant all the time. advice I would love to give, and advice that I've given a lot. I've given full hour-long speeches on this exact topic, which is that if something is interesting to you, you're not alone. Other people are interested in it. And it can be amazing how quickly you can find an audience if you pursue your passion. If you think it's this niche thing, the small thing that it's so weird that I like this. No, other people will like it too. And there's opportunity there, whether it's a screenplay that you end up writing, a show you end up developing. Something that is passionate to you is the thing that's going to help drive you forward. And I'm telling you, you will find an audience.